Truth Be Told is the name of the episode, and that is what Rudy gives Deborah. He gives her the truth. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. It's the penultimate episode of Dexter for Season 1. It's episode 11. Truth Be Told. There was a lot of truth. There was a lot of reveals in this episode, and I think it set up the finale perfectly.
Yes, I agree with that. I can't wait to get stuck into this episode. Hit me with it, Dexy.
Hit me with it, Dexter. Hit me with your best shot. So we see Rudy. He is with the amputee victim that Angel was questioning. It looks like they were, I don't want to say lovers before, but it definitely looks like she was interested in him in the past. I think they were dating, perhaps, and it looks like they're dating again. They're in bed, and then Rudy just all of a sudden, she talks about how last time that he liked her like stump or whatever, or her amputee, and then Rudy says, "No, you look pretty disgusting." This kind of unsettles her. She's like, "That's not funny."
You're not very nice, yeah.
Rudy then tries to comfort her, or at least that's what we think he's trying to do. Instead, he grabs on a rear naked choke and he strangles her. He says, don't struggle, you're going to be out in 10 seconds, but, I mean, if you're going to die, you may as well struggle, like, why not?
Yeah, what's the best case scenario here? Pretend that you're dead, and then you let's go before you're actually out?
Maybe.
But the human reaction is to fight.
But she doesn't escape, she gets choked out, and then we see the next day, we're at some, like, Christmas festival, Dexter gets called to it. It's the latest crime of the ice truck killer, who we now know is Rudy, and the body parts of the hooker and are like just spread all over this like Christmas tree. They're wrapped up with other presents, all these like limbs and body parts of bows on top. We come across a footage tape, they play it, and it shows her basically begging for her life before
she's
having...
She's upside down. The tears are going that way.
Before having her throat slit, and we realise, or Deborah realises that she's upside down. Then I believe it is Sergeant Dokes who points out, or was it? Yeah, it was Dokes. Dokes points out that the room that he was in was like too big. It was too impressive to be an ice truck. So he obviously has his own custom-built cold storage room, and they decide that they need to look into people that have custom-built storage rooms.
See, I think Dokes points out a pretty good fact here. This has to be quite big, and, you know, he narrows the search down. I feel like Dokes has took a real good step forward in leading the task force or whatever. But see what Deborah's saying, oh, she's upside down. I think she, like, puts so much emphasis on stuff that's not really a big deal. Like, so what if they're upside down and that's how he's like draining them? Is Dokes not figuring out here, look at the roof, that's far too small or big to be a truck or a small building. This has to be a custom made job.
Yeah, them being upside down, that isn't going to help track the killer down. Like,
I don't know if this is
upside down, horizontal, vertical.
Yeah. Are they trying? Is this like a flaw, or are they just trying to portray Deborah as just not as like smart as the rest of them? Because it's not like she says this and they all look around and think, "God, she ain't that bright."
Well, in terms of detectives, like, she is the rookie.
Yes, but that's 2 episodes in a row now. She's come out with something a bit retarded.
Definitely. Deborah is getting closer to Rudy. Rudy wants them to go out of town for the weekend, but she says we're going to be busy, or at least I'm going to be busy, because she is on the verge, she believes, of catching the ice truck killer. So she asks Dexter to speak to Rudy instead, which of course Dexter doesn't want to do, but he learns that Rudy is thinking of proposing to her, and later when he leaks this news to Deborah's celebrating like she's won the World Cup, so Deborah's pretty happy that there is a proposal coming her way.
Far too early, come on. Play the game, son. What's going on here? It's been like, what, a couple of weeks maybe? Maybe like a month or 2 at the most? Quite mental, isn't it?
Yeah, Dexter is still consumed by the desire to learn about his past while researching newspaper articles from when he was a boy. He comes across the date October 3 or 103, the number laced throughout the crime scene. He then uncovers the truth. His mother was a police informant who was massacred, and there is no mention of him in the news story. So 103 definitely means something. We see it all the time with the ice truck killer. Even at the Christmas festival, the clock said 103. The room was 103. And I guess it leads to this. Dexter's looking back at the newspaper articles.
Dexter could have very easily missed this.
He could have, but you know, Dexter's pretty thorough when he looks at things. He always seems to.
He mentioned it earlier in the show where he's like, the cops are looking for these clues that are only meant for me, but so obviously they're not going to figure them out.
Like 103 doesn't mean shit to the cops, but it obviously means something to Dexter.
Exactly.
It means
the world of my Dex.
It means October 3rd. Dexter then has to deal with Rita's son, Cody, who's ran away. They chase him down to the park. He was supposed to visit Paul, but obviously he's not going to do that because Paul is in prison. Dexter then tells Rita that she isn't really protecting her kids. She's protecting Paul by not exposing their dad, but we see Rita and Dexter have their first kind of falling out here because Rita tells Dexter that he is not a parent and he doesn't really know how to deal with it. And I don't like this because she's quite happy to allow Dexter to look after her kids and almost act like their father, but when there's going to be an issue, as soon as there's a slight problem, she reminds Dexter that he is not a dad. And see, I think this is the reason why I don't believe I could ever be with someone, and I know this is off topic, but I don't believe I could ever be with someone in life that has a kid, because see, if they were expecting you to like be the dad or whatever, or be the father figure, then the first time you have an argument, they remind you that you're not, that would just piss me off.
I know, of course it would, but see this, right? Her trying to play the whole game of, oh, I can't tell them that because they're only kids, right? See, if you told them this from the beginning, even though I know the daughter kind of already knew that he beat her and blah blah blah, whatever he did. If they tell them that from the beginning, they're not going to view their dad as this fucking great guy, and therefore you're almost going to win that battle. Dexter's right. It's like you fucking sugarcoat it. This guy, he's a criminal. He's a thug. He's a junkie.
Although they are kind of kids, like. I mean,
Dexter's right in the money here.
No, I see.
Rita doesn't even see his point. It's more like, well, fuck you. You're not a parent. Yeah, because your plan went. You know what? Fair play, Dexter. He grew a set here, and he fucking said, "Nah."
They said how he feels.
Aye.
Well, he doesn't think he said anything wrong. I don't think he said anything wrong.
I think he's more saying this though, from a selfish point of view. Of here, what I did getting him locked up would be for nothing if you don't actually get the kids to believe this.
Yeah. Angel has been in hospital. He's been getting visits from his wife. He thinks they're getting back together. It turns out they're not. She says that too much has happened and that they were miserable their last few years together.
Tell you what, she makes me miserable. Not the greatest character ever.
Yeah, that pretty much just puts an end to their marriage. Then later, Dexter visits Angel. He sees teeth marks on the back of Angel's head where he struck his assailant. Angel mentions that he must have hit his attacker on the lips. And this strikes a chord in Dexter, because earlier when he was speaking to Rudy, he noticed that Rudy had a split lip. He asked Rudy what happened, and Rudy says that he cut it earlier this morning, but Dexter quickly pointed out, nah, that cut didn't happen this morning because it's already beginning to heal.
See, who's Rudy think he is, lying to the guy that knows all about blood?
I know
he should have put makeup or something, or just like not interact with Dexter for a few days. Sloppy. Rudy's getting sloppy in the penultimate episode.
Or if he told the truth about when it happened, do you think Dexter wouldn't have been suspicious? If he hadn't lied about it? If he'd have just said, oh, I cut it 2 days ago, when he actually got headbutted by Batista? I can understand why he wouldn't want to say when it happened, but I mean, if you...
Maybe, but all the evidence points towards Rudy. The fact like Angel's talking about, oh, the whole he went to Rudy the prosthetics guy, I guess if Dexter never knew about his bottom lip, like even if he didn't lie and say, here, it happened this morning and not yesterday, I think Dexter still would have been suspicious.
But anyway, Dexter goes into investigation mode. He goes to the apartment. He picks up... He can't get in. Rudy's got these really weird fucking doors where it's like, honestly, it's like you're trying to break into Fort Knox. And I guess that's suspicious as well, the fact that his apartment is like that secure. I mean, everybody wants a secure house.
The doors around his apartment all had similar doors, apart from he had a camera and I believe like another sort of lock.
Like, everybody wants a secure home, I'm not saying that, but like his door seems like they were like made out of fucking steel. It was like, you know, like it's breaking into the safe here. So Dexter can't get in. Instead, he decides to be a little bit creative and he jumps in top of the trash and he starts going through the trash can. He manages to go through Rudy's trash and he picks up a tissue with a blood sample on it. He goes back to the department and after a quick blood sample, a quick bit of research, it finds out that matches the blood found on Angel's shirt. So Rudy definitely attacked Angel. Dexter knows this for sure now, and I guess panic could be about to set in. Laguerta, meanwhile, receives word from Captain Matthews that she's been replaced. At first, Matthews admits that, a lot of things have went wrong under his leadership, and that is why he is replacing his second in command. And Laguerta didn't see this coming. She thought that he was taking full responsibility, but all he's really doing is putting the blame on her and making out that his only mistake is having her in the position that she's in.
You're just a spick in heels, Laguerta.
Pretty much. That's what he said, and now she's getting replaced by some woman from Haiti that got shot.
Yeah, I thought he was going to give Dokes the big promotion.
Doc says it's bullshit and that he will talk to, because earlier on he put Dokes on the case and Dokes said he would talk to Matthews, but Laguerta said no, it doesn't matter, because she thought he was getting replaced, but it turns out he comes out the room smiling with all the upper men, and it's just like all the old white men laughing and joking. You've got Laguerta and you've got Dokes looking on, and it's like,
Colour against white, damn it.
It was like white power just defeating them there, so they thought Captain Matthews was gone, but he played the race card.
He played the race card and, full house.
He did, so that is pretty much it from there. So Laguerta is getting replaced. Rita then decides she's going to take Dexter's advice after all. She takes the kids to visit Paul. First of all, she tells Paul that, look, if you ever want to see your kids again, then you're going to have to admit who you are. She wants that the divorce is going to get done, and he's going to have to be honest and be the dad that he is and not the dad that he wants to be. And look, we can say Paul's an asshole, right? But yeah, I don't think you can say he's a bad dad. I've seen, and I know we debated this and we argued, and you said the fact that because he was beating up Rita, he shouldn't get to see his kids. You agreed with Rita there. But I think obviously the amount of effort he's gone through to see his kids, he does seem to be a genuinely good dad. It doesn't mean he's a good person, but he does seem to care about them.
Yeah, but it's like Hitler was a good animal lover. He loved his German shepherds. Doesn't mean he shouldn't be fucking going to jail.
I'm not saying that, but
no, I didn't say he was a bad dad, but I feel like once you do certain things, you kind of lose privileges. Like, maybe this guy is a better parent in terms of like all the activities he takes him to than Rita. Like, he's more like a fun-loving guy, while Rita's a wee bit depressed, and her shell more of a shy person. But does that make her worse than this guy?
Is he a worse person than Dexter?
I'd say so. Dexter's killed scum of the earth.
So Dexter's taking out the trash.
Aye.
He's like a bin man.
Paul is said trash, but he's not like the smelliest of trash. He's like
recyclable trash.
Aye,
right.
Recycling bottles.
So the kids then see Paul in jail. Paul, he tries to give him a hug, but he's like chained up. He's handcuffed up. Initially, though, he did tell Rita that he doesn't know how he got here and that he didn't do anything, but then he kind of dropped that, so I don't know. Will he remember what happened?
So he doesn't even remember. He's just speaking to Dexter that he woke up in my fucking prison cell.
Yo, I was in the kitchen and your boyfriend smashed me with a frying pan.
Out of the frying pan.
Dexter, alarm bells are going off in his head. He realises now that Rudy is the ice truck killer. I mean, should he have seen this coming? I don't know. Rudy was getting super close and super weird and super personal. And for a guy that had only been dating Deborah for a while, I felt like Rudy just turning up randomly to Dexter's house and forcing his way in and bringing steaks and
helping his wee morgue mission.
Yeah, this guy's been too fucking clingy.
Yeah.
Even if he wasn't this truck killer, I think he'd be a bit paranoid here. This guy is...
You're afraid of my personal space.
There's something wrong with this guy. Dexter's trying to contact Deborah. She said that she wasn't going to see Rudy tonight, but obviously that's changed because Rudy has lured Deborah away with the promise of only dinner. But when he gets her on the yacht, he proposes. Deborah can't believe it. But she says that she can't stay, she needs to go. But Rudy says the only way you get to wear the ring is by having one glass of wine with me. So they go onto the yacht, they have a glass of wine. Rudy's not drinking though, Deborah notices. He's like, nah, I'm okay. Then when they're lying down, Rudy starts to talk about how he can't believe that she didn't see this, and he jokes about being the ice truck killer, although She doesn't think he's joking. Well, she thinks he's joking, but she said it's not a funny joke. Turns out, though, Rudy is not joking. He says, you're supposed to be a detective, yet you didn't see this under your nose the entire time. The drugged champagne begins to kick in. And then we see Rudy choke her out, similar to the way he did the prostitute with the prosthetic arm. And that is pretty much it. Dexter Morgan is passed out.
Damn.
Deborah Morgan's passed out. Dexter Morgan's run about the police department, not knowing what to do in a state of panic. And the episode ends with a grin on Rudy's face.
Now, who is worse for not figuring it out? Deborah or Dexter? I think Dexter's worse. Deborah's not the smartest, the sharpest tool in the box. And plus, Dexter knows a lot more clues than
the clues have been designed for Dexter. I mean, you could argue the reason why the police haven't solved any clues is because they're not been left for them. Unless the clues are personal to you, it's hard to actually put anything together.
Yeah, but with Dexter, he's knew that. Deborah hasn't. And it's not like Deborah hasn't seen anything at the ordinary, like, to suggest it. Dexter just knows this guy. Yeah, I think Dexter. I'm going with Dexter on that one.
You think Dexter should have known?
No, I'm saying more than Deborah.
Well, she is the one that's been dating him, so it's not going to.
A guy that keeps himself to himself and has all these plans and doesn't want anyone really knowing. I mean, he was letting Rudy in a wee bit, wasn't he?
He was, aye. Anyway, it's rating time. I'm going to get an 8.
I'm going to get an 8. Much better than the last episode.
Yeah, and I think it sets up the finale perfectly, guys. There you go, 8 out of 10. We'll catch you for the final episode of Season 1. But until then, Rudy is the ice truck killer. We've known that for a while, but I guess the only difference is pretty much everybody knows now. Or at least the Morgans know. Don't know what good it is Deborah knowing, considering she's knocked out at the moment.
Does Harry know?
Well,
I'll hit you with the 3 second time.
Can Harry return and make the save? We'll find out next time, guys. Till then,
He could be out. We can't see him.
Peace.